everybody. Welcome back to Panther City Partners Podcast. We are here at episode 7. I'm Leann Maxwell with Panther City Partners. I'm a personal growth and development coach, and I have this podcast so we can talk about life's transitions, about the ups and downs, the challenges, the obstacles that we all face in our lives and how we can overcome them. Remember, the only constant is change, but you don't have to go it alone. Today, I'm super excited to have 2 guests with me. Today, we have Eryn and Tauriah Stubblefield. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, I'm so excited that y'all are here. They are both recent graduates from TCU with degrees in social work. They got their bachelor's in social work in 2018. And now they are going to finish grad school at UTA in social work again later this summer. So I'm super excited to have y'all here.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for inviting us.
We're excited too.
Hey, so I know you and Eryn, you and I talked about this, and this is really how I got the thought, oh, wow, she would be great to have on the podcast to talk about your transition from high school to college and what that looked like for you, how your high school, and for you too, Tauriah, how your high school may have been similar or different from TCU, and what that started out looking like for you and why you chose to come to Fort Worth to TCU.
Yeah. So I went to a private Catholic high school. And so kind of the same with TCU being a Christian university, the same like morals and goals for the students. And so, and the same, like the diversity was kind of the same as well.
Okay.
Like I was part of the minority in my high school and then as well as at TCU. But yeah, so it was a good transition. Yeah.
Did you know from the beginning that you wanted to study social work? Was that part of the Oh, okay. Okay.
So I actually started off as a pre-health and I went to biology class. I went to chemistry. I sat in chemistry for 2 days. And the second day I was in chemistry, I was like, why am I here?
I hear that.
I love science. I love math, but this is not my passion. I went back to my advisor and I was like, I need something else. And she asked me what I was passionate about. I said, helping people. And she put me in an intro to social work class. And I fell in love with it.
That's awesome.
Right then and there. Yeah.
Wow, that's very cool. So you were able to make that transition in the first week of school. Like, whoa, I'm in the wrong place. I need to get out of here.
Yes.
And then you found the right place immediately.
Yes.
That's awesome. So, Tauriah, tell us about you. Your high school transition from high school to college. I think your high school was a little different than TCU.
Yeah, my high school was different, but then when I went to TCU, our first experience was kind of the same, like what we came in for.
Okay.
But I went to Sam Houston High School in Arlington, and it was great. I was really involved, and it was really fun. Like, if I can go back to my high school any year, I would go back.
Oh, yeah?
But it was a culture shock when I went to TCU because I wasn't really in the minority group because it was African Americans, Hispanics, Asians, but the white population was the minority group at Sam Houston. So when I went to TCU, I was like, oh, I feel by myself. Like,
yeah, it's
I've
a little
been
different
around other cultures, but I haven't really been mixed in with them that much. So that was.
Do you think you realized that before you went to TCU? Like, did you know before the first day of class, or at orientation? When did you figure out how different it was going to be?
Well, in high school, I did track.
Okay.
And I remember going to a track meet at TCU, but I never stepped foot like on the main campus. I just went to the track and I was like, oh, cool. They got purple nachos and like their field is just like, I loved all the school spirit because I wish my high school had more school spirit. But when I actually stepped foot on TCU, that was for orientation. So I never visited the campus or anything. And I lived in Arlington and TCU is right
there
down 20. So when I went on orientation, I was like, this campus is beautiful. Like, I love it.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, this campus is different. This is not Sam Houston where I see a lot of people that look like me.
Right. Did you have reservations at orientation? Did you think, oh, what have I gotten myself into? Or did you just totally take it with this open mind of like, I'm here, I'm going to give this a try?
Kind of both. Because when I went to orientation, I was like, oh, there's like so many different people and different statuses.
Yes. That's a very
nice
way to put that.
Just I'm like, oh, y'all are planning y'all's summer trip to the cabins. And I'm like,
Right.
I think I'm going to go to Lubbock this week.
I have to work all summer.
Right.
That's what I did in college.
But I was like, it's new. I'm a friendly person, so I'm going to see how it goes. And then it was great.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good. So you were just saying that you had a similar experience to Eryn that first week of school, that you were maybe in the wrong classes.
Yeah, but mine went longer. So
Okay.
we kind of came in the same, which like is weird because we kind of had the same experiences just at different times. Because I came in pre-health as well. I wanted to be a veterinarian. She wanted to be a veterinarian as well. But TCU didn't have animal science, so we had to do the health track. And I was in bio for the whole year, just knowing the whole time I didn't want to be there, like trying hard to stay awake. I'm like this in class, dozing off and not really understanding the material. But like Eryn said, I loved math and science. In high school, they were my favorite subjects. But when I went to TCU, I was just like, this is not interesting me. That's why I don't want to focus that much on the work or anything. I'd rather go join clubs or do the other things that
the
are
school
more
spirit stuff that you were interested in.
Or social service organizations as well. So then the second semester, I was like, this like field is not going to work out. But I was already in my second semester of the classes, so I just had to finish that semester off. And then I went to my advisor as well, talked to them and saying like what I'm interested in. And then they put me into intro to social work the next semester. And that class got me where I am now.
This is the right place for me. So I have a quick question because I'm interested that Eryn, you figured it out and made the change super quick. And I'm wondering, what do you think it is about your personality or about it's something about you that said, I'm going to go right now and make this change. Whereas you, Tauriah, maybe you were trying to persevere or have grit or something in a different way. Like, I feel like you both persevered and had grit, but it was just, it's kind of like, it's like it took two different offshoots. So you immediately figured out and were like, I'm going out of here. And then you stuck out for a whole year. Right.
And then
but ended up in the right.
You ended up back in the same place.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
so what do you think, Eryn? What made you say I'm going to go right now instead of staying in the class longer?
I'm thinking one thing was definitely because the class was at 8 a.m.
Okay.
Mine was not.
I was like, I do not like waking up early. And then I don't know. I'm a type of person where if I don't really want to do something, I'm just kind of like, what is my other options? Let me see my other options.
Right.
And I also had an amazing advisor. Yes.
Academic advisors are awesome.
Yes, they are, especially at TCU.
And so, when you have a good one.
Yeah, when you have a good one.
Yes, that's true.
And so when I went to my advisor, she really was able to see my personality. And I knew that from the week before school started, that she was like gonna help me. And so when she knew that, she was like, okay, let's see what else, and like really talked to me and made sure I got to something else. And I was like, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
So it was great that the option was available.
Right.
And I was able to switch out that quickly.
Right. What do you think about you, Tauriah? You stuck it out for way longer than I would have stuck it out.
And I probably could have stuck it out a little bit longer if I would have just put in more effort, kind of. But like, there's no reason to put in effort in something I'm not happy about.
Right.
But I think it was more so because I told myself, I told my family and friends, like since I was in second grade, I wanted to be a veterinarian. I was going to go to vet school. I was going to be there for the 10 to 12 plus years that it takes. And I was going to be the veterinarian and open up my place. So I was like, this is hard right now, but I just have to keep on going through it and then I'll make it through. So I just kind of didn't want to change my goal or like let myself down or what I told other people that I was supposed to be. But yeah, that second semester, I was just like, no. Like, I am not happy in this class at all.
That can be a really hard thing with transitions. When you set these goals for yourself, it can be hard to let go of them if they're not serving you anymore.
Yeah, and especially if you're a first generation college student, like for myself, I'm setting the path for all my younger siblings and everyone up underneath me. So I was like, I don't want to like quit what I've been working for my whole life just because that class was hard. I'm like, I made it through harder classes before, but it wasn't really that it was hard. It just didn't interest me at all.
Right. That can be a lot of pressure when your whole family is looking to you to make this path for your family.
The other thing for me was that I actually did like a small shadowing at a vet the summer before. And at that, I was like, okay, what would I be if I was in this setting? And I was like, okay, a vet tech but there was things that they did that I was like, I really don't want to do that. So no. So now I was like, okay, if I am the veterinarian, the surgeon who like goes through, I got to sit in surgery for different dogs and stuff. And so I was like, ooh, that seems interesting. And then I looked at how long the schooling was, and it's about 8 extra years. And I was like, I no.
Right.
I was like, I can't go through all that.
That's a long time.
Too.
Yeah.
I always told everyone, I've been in school since I was like that big. I was tired of going to
You
school.
have to have a real passion for that in order to feel like you investing that time is worth it to you.
Yeah. And your personality as well. Like I'm a super social, talkative person. And when I took like self-assessments and career assessments at TCU, it was always like my social was off the chart.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can't spend my life talking to animals in a vet clinic.
Right. I mean, you can.
Yeah. Or the owners.
Right.
So social work was perfect.
Yeah. So y'all have definitely found your niche with your major.
Yeah.
That was a good fit for you.
Definitely.
What do you feel like are some of the other challenges or obstacles that you encountered in those first few months or semesters of college?
So for myself, I know that I have a learning disability.
Okay.
I'm dyslexic. So with going through that transition was kind of scary. From high school, I, had it already set out and everything.
Right.
And so when going to college, it was okay, I have to talk to my professors. These are all new people. I don't want them to think that I'm not able to do these classes because of my disability.
Right.
And so just being able to persevere and having positive self-talk in my own self and knowing that I can do this, I'm going to make it through.
Right. What a good strategy to have that positive self-talk. I mean, that is kind of scary to have to put yourself out there all over again. You did it in high school. You told everyone knows what's going on. And now it's like, oh, now I have to share my business with everybody else again.
In every class that you go in.
Every single class,
every single one.
every single semester. And you're right. I feel like that a lot of the students I've worked with have had disabilities, and they are nervous that people are going to have a prejudice against them, that they're going to automatically assume, oh, this person is just using that, or they're going to be lazy, or they're going to expect special treatment.
Exactly.
And to be able to say, no, I'm just informing you. These are the certain things that I need from you, and then this class will be great. That's a really daunting task that we ask of people who maybe haven't had to do that before.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome that you were able to persevere, like you said, and use that positive self-talk.
Yeah. And I made I think 2 4.0s at TCU.
Awesome.
So I was
clearly
very happy with myself.
Yeah.
And
no kidding.
persevered.
Yeah. Yeah. So clearly the dyslexia was not holding you back.
Exactly. That is one
And
thing.
she had good friends to help her study.
That's true.
Yes, I did have.
So
good
when
friend
did
group.
you guys meet? Because you said that y'all started kind of on the same path and you diverged.
Right.
And then when did you come back together? Because that's something I'm noticing about y'all is that you have, even just in the short time I've seen you together, you really depend on each other.
She copies me.
No.
I think it was second semester.
It was
Freshman
second
year?
semester, freshman year in
So
dance
that's
class.
when I took intro to social work and I went to dance.
No,
and,
I took it. Oh, yeah. Just
because I
kidding.
switched second semester because that's when we had Deets. And
Yeah.
I was like, yes, I love her. Yeah, we took
dance.
jazz.
It
I
was
about to
jazz
say
dance
hip-hop.
class.
We took a jazz dance
yeah.
class. I always
Uh-huh.
wanted to do dance in high school and growing up, and I just never really had the opportunity to.
Good job
So-
using your elective hours to do something you were interested in.
and to work out because
Yes.
I wasn't trying to go work out and stuff. But yeah, we were in dance together, and it was just fun going through that experience.
I did drill team for 4 years in high school. So that's why I chose dance. So I was like, I need an outlet and something that's going to be fun.
Right.
Yeah.
And
I
so,
don't even know how we even started talking, but I know at the
Well,
final we
because-
did our dance routine together with the other two girls.
Well, because of being a minority, there was only about
there was only
4
like
of
4
us
of us
in that class. And
So we were like, oh,
one-
yeah,
yeah.
like, stand back here with her.
and
Okay.
so then our personalities just clicked, and then we were like, yeah.
And then we took the class again.
We took
Oh,
it-
yeah, because you can take that one over and over again.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I
Yeah.
think we took it again.
Yeah, we
but
took it again, and then
in
we had our
sophomore
other-
year.
So you really felt like what drew you together initially was the fact that you were both the minorities in the class. And
Yeah.
so that brought you together initially. But then you said your personalities click. What do you think it is about your personalities that click so well? Your sense of
awesome.
humor?
No.
Probably.
Yes, sense of humor,
Yeah.
definitely.
Because we laugh all day. I make her laugh all
And
day.
Tauriah's
That's
very
a-
big. She's really big on she makes all these plans. So it's like, oh, you want to go do this? Do you want to go play volleyball? We can go play sand volleyball. Oh, there's gymnastic class. We can go do gymnastic class. Do you want to do that?
Club.
And she's like that
everywhere.
Yeah, there was like that.
So
she's
she
like
was
that with
getting
other
you
people.
out, like the social butterfly in your friend group of like getting people, hey, let's go and do this.
Yeah, I'm the one I always say I made them be my friends. Like our other friend in our friend group, when we met her, I just turned around like, oh, are you here? Do you know anyone at campus? I'm like, oh, I'm kind of by myself too. You should get my number. We're gonna start hanging out. Yeah, and I gave her my number, messaged her the next day, and now she's our best friend too.
Mm-hmm. I have to say that is really impressive because those first few weeks of school, that first entire freshman year is really scary because you were thrust into all these situations with brand new people who are different from you, who come from different places. And I have noticed on campus when I'm there, people don't talk to each other. And so you really have to put yourself out there. So that's impressive. And it's really scary to do that, to put yourself out there because, I mean, the worst that could happen really is that someone would say, no, I don't want to give you my number. But it's really not, I mean, setting yourself up for those minor failures is kind of scary, but knowing that the payoff could be so great that you made these two awesome friends that have been your friends since freshman year of college.
Right. And it's like,
no, you go.
And like sometimes there's like, I call them like semester friends where you have someone in the class and you guys get each other's numbers, y'all study together. And then after that semester, y'all never talk again.
Yeah.
So it was good that we got together and exchanged numbers, did things outside of class, then found out that we're both in social work, and then being able to have that group and be in the same cohort all the way through.
Yeah, especially because we were both freshmen together. We didn't have the same high school experience, but kind of similar. And then come to TCU and we're like, oh, like you're experiencing some of this stuff too? Like, yeah. And then talking, we would have movie nights. I would always bring them in my dorm and everything. Yeah. I did a lot of planning.
Well, now that I'm thinking about it like that,
I was always taking y'all somewhere.
You know, coming into a university that's so different from maybe what your family situation is or culturally different, it can be a really isolating thing. So the fact that you guys were really perseverant in finding these people and then like, we are going to get together. This is important. Because building those relationships is really important. I mean, if you think about what your college experience would have been like if you didn't find each other, you may have had those semester friends, like you were saying, Eryn, but getting those deep level friendships that really see you through those tough times is really important. And you can go through all of college and never find that. So it's awesome that you did.
Horrible.
We didn't really get really, really close until junior year.
Yeah.
Like sophomore year, we talked more, but freshman year,
then I
was
left.
Like, and then then she went to abroad.
Yeah.
And then junior year, we like had a click, and then and then on through senior year. But I mean, there's a lot of things that go, like a lot of different friendships. One thing I know they say in college is the people that you meet freshman year are not necessarily going to be your best friend by graduation.
Yeah, that's true, because every semester is, like you were saying with the friendships, but every semester is such a different thing. I think that people feel like if you go off to college, that college is the same the whole time that you're there. You're at college, but really every single semester is its own little, I don't know, like a little microcosm of the world. Yeah. And then you do that 8 times at least. Some people do it fewer semesters and some people do it more. And so it's really having to navigate because it's a huge transition every single semester.
Yeah. But it was good because we all lasted freshman to now, really,
to senior year,
out of school because we still bother each other all the time.
That's good.
But I think a lot of our experiences helped as well because whenever there was like a hard time or I know personally, if I felt any difference, I can come and be like, I was at the store or something, and I told, like, someone asked me, like, oh, you're so young, where do you go? And I'm like, I go to TCU. They're like, oh, you go to TCC. I'm like, does anyone ever say that to y'all? And then I know, like, our other friends were like, oh, yeah, no one believes I'm at TCU. So.
Or you're an athlete.
Yeah. Yes. Like, oh, you're here. You must be on scholarship. What sport do you play? Like, I play the books.
Oh, what a good comeback to that.
Yeah, so we could really talk about that. We'll be sitting in class and hear people talk, like, just about their life or experiences. And we're like, what do you got to say?
Crickets.
Yeah, like a professor would be like, I know everyone has visited Spain. And I'm like, nope.
No.
Go.
Wow. One day. That is interesting that there is that idea that all of the students at TCU look one certain way and have had one certain experience. And while there is a vast majority of students who come from a very similar background, there are a lot of kids who come from different places.
Yeah.
And then for even like a professor to just have this assumption that all the students are the same, that can be kind of like, that can even make you feel like you're in the wrong place.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when you walk in and you see like you're the only one there. You're like, oh, where do I sit at?
Yeah. See, I didn't have that problem. I always sat in the front.
Well, you were playing the books too. So.
Oh,
right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
too, for the scholarship anyway.
Oh.
They were like, you need to be in the front seat.
Yeah. So you talked just a second ago, Tauriah, about going abroad for a semester. What was that like?
I loved it. I went to Barcelona, Spain.
Oh, yay.
I was there from January to April. And it was like starting, now I think about it, kind of was like starting college all over again, because I always wanted to go abroad, which is one reason that drew me to TCU, because the scholarship paid for one semester abroad.
Oh, wow.
I did everything leading up to when I left the country. And then once I left the country, I didn't have to spend a penny of my own money. But I was the only one on my trip from TCU that I knew. And I was the only one that looked like myself that I knew from TCU. So I really just up and left to another country by myself.
Wow.
Really, because no one else wanted to go with me.
Yeah.
Our other friend was like, nope, I'm too scared. I'm going to get kidnapped or something. But I'm like, they're paying for it.
So I'm going.
Yes, but I loved it. I loved being in Spain. And then when I came back, it really taught me how like materialistic we are in the United States. And I feel like ever since then I have changed with like what my values haven't really changed. My top values are the same, but how I go like about buying things or when I get stressed or anything, I'm like, I spent a whole semester abroad where I used to have to walk 40 minutes to go to school and then back, sometimes by myself, and I wasn't even scared.
That's awesome.
So then I come back and I'm like, I need to get back in that mindset. It was challenging being by myself.
Yeah.
I had like 2 breakdowns, but besides that, it was good.
So when you were there, did you use did you use social media, or how did you maintain the connections with your family, especially, but your friends too, so that you could kind of get yourself out of those isolating moments or those times that you were really down?
Well, I know the first time I felt really down was like the first day. Once I got off the plane and then into the taxi cab and made it to my host mom's house, and she came out and she's like, oh, chica, and she's like going, and I didn't really have, I just had beginner levels of Spanish at that time. So she's talking to me, and then my roommate is fluent, so she's talking to her, and I'm just there like, I'm really like 13 hours away. The farthest I've been from my family was at TCU, which is 30 minutes. And now I'm 13 hours away from my family, and I can't go back until April. So we use WhatsApp. I talk to them a lot, and I will still talk to my friends like on Snapchat or Facebook. But
you posted on social media too.
Yeah,
the pictures,
my pictures and everything. But I did keep in touch with like my main friends. Yeah. Which was really good because it showed me like the people who still wanted to keep in contact with me as well.
Yeah.
I knew that she was my real friend at TCU when she brought me something back.
Oh,
and I was like,
oh yeah. My suitcase was so heavy when I came back.
You needed 2 to come home.
Yes, because I bought like everyone something.
Oh, that's so nice. I'm wondering about that moment when you get out of the cab and your host mom is talking and your roommate are talking and you just like that utter aloneness. That can be really debilitating. What do you think it was that forced you to like keep going?
One, since high school, like growing up, I've always tried to keep like this tough shell kind of. So like being there, I had to allow myself like those first couple hours or so. Like I literally just went to my room, which was like probably the size of this to the wall.
Yeah.
And I was
like
just
the size
sad.
of a twin bed, basically.
Yeah, the room was so tiny and it was just all new. And I just was sad. Like I was crying. It was like, I can't believe I'm here. Like I want to go home. I don't know this. None of my friends are here. I don't know these people. I don't know their food. They like fish. I don't like fish. It was just sad. But then I was like, I'm here. I've always wanted to go abroad. And I have this chance to go to Spain. Then I just got out, started talking to my roommate, and then my host mom was like, amazing. I love her still. She still tells me happy birthday and everything on Facebook. So I just had that moment where I just felt all the emotions and then wiped my face, and I just went out and was like, I'm about to make the most of this experience. And then I only had one other like moment of that before in the middle when I was like missing birthdays and celebrations that we would usually have back home with my family. And I was like, I want to be there to see my sister grow up or something. But then I was like, all right, like spring break is coming up. You're about to go to London. Like, let's just worry about that. Yeah.
I think it's so good that you say that you let yourself feel all of those emotions, because often in this world of like being positive, it sometimes feels like there's a lot of pressure that like I have to be happy all the time. And if I'm not happy all the time, then I'm not doing this right.
Yeah, especially abroad. You're in a whole nother country. Why are you sad?
Right. You're getting to do all these cool things. What is your problem? But you let yourself feel those emotions. You didn't let them take over your life or take over your semester. You had that moment. And then you wiped your face off and you got back out there and put yourself back out there again.
And now I'm going to go back.
Oh,
that's what everyone's like, what do you want to do? I just want to go back.
Yeah.
If anyone knows how to send me back there.
Good luck. We all want to go back.
Right.
It's beautiful.
Spain.
So, Eryn, what do you feel like? I know you didn't study abroad, but I do know that you worked in college and you did some other things that maybe were a little different than what some of the other students at the school did. What do you feel like is something that you took away from those experiences that maybe you weren't expecting?
Oh goodness. I don't know. That's a good question.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. Because I really actually didn't do much working except for during the summer, which did give me a lot of experience.
Right.
A lot of different experiences that I probably would not have had, and like a lot of good connections as well.
Yeah.
So those were good. Yeah.
So let me ask you this. What do you feel like is something that you wish you had known when you went off to college that you didn't, but you know now and you're like, man, if I had just known this, or if I had just done it this way, things would have been easier, or something would have been different. Do you have anything like that?
You go first. If you think of something.
I would have not went to college in a relationship.
Oh, yeah.
I would have just went. Just went by myself, because I feel like my college experience didn't really start until my sophomore year. Once I wasn't in a relationship, I feel like that's really when I started. That's when all our semester started. Yeah. But
it's interesting because that's about when you guys really clicked.
Yeah.
I know. I had more free time. No, I would have, that for sure. I would have asked for help more. I started doing that in college, like going to professors and everything. But TCU and just all the universities in general have so many resources.
Right.
And now I'm like, I could have went to the chancellor and asked for help, or I could have went to the financial aid department or just the social work office. Like I could have asked for help more instead of trying to figure it out myself, or us trying to come together and figure out the problem when we really could have just asked somebody and they would have showed us the whole way through.
Right.
And just been more involved, because we tried to do a whole lot, but I know sometimes I didn't stay in something, or I wouldn't go to an event if I was going to be by myself. Or like, I don't really know, because I don't really connect with them. But I was kind of closing myself off from some experience just because it was still different. Even to my senior year, I was still like, I don't know if I want to try that, because I'm going to be by myself and I don't know.
But now that it's over, you think, man,
I should have did everything. Like I should have stayed in gymnastics. I would know how to do a backflip right now.
Yeah. That the three pieces of advice I'm hearing from you are to really think about your relationships before your romantic relationships before you go off to college.
Just let them go.
No,
just really think about it.
Well, I mean, that's a time when everyone is changing, and it sometimes is hard to change when you're with a romantic partner who is either not changing the same pace or isn't comfortable with that. So that's something that you said there. Asking for help, getting on board initially with that help seeking behavior instead of waiting.
Feeling comfortable to say like, I need help. Like, I don't know.
Right.
But I mean,
I'm sure, as like you've already said, you're the first generation college student. And when you look around, it does seem like everybody else knows what they're doing.
Yes.
And I would have to say, as a former academic advisor, they don't. They just look like they know what they're doing. So yes, thinking about that, like ask for help, the sooner the better. And then to have just do as much as you can while you're there. Get involved and be involved in as many activities, because once you're out of college, then you're out of college.
Yeah.
And you don't have the access to those same experiences. All right, Eryn, for you, what did you wish that you had done or known before you started college?
I think my biggest thing was like relationships with friends and whatnot, and just knowing that it's going, like, everybody's different, and knowing that, like how I was saying before, the people that you meet freshman year may not necessarily be the ones that you graduate with.
Right.
Because I went through a lot of different things with different roommates and having to change rooms and having to just have these little arguments and conflict, until I finally got to like junior year, where I was like, okay, these people are actually going to have my back. Yes. And these other people may not. I could still be cordial with them.
Right.
And I could still, talk to them and hang out sometimes, but knowing that it's going to get better, it's going to be okay, and you're going to have some friends in the end.
Yeah. I think that's really important, because especially for those of us who maybe went to the same high school and maybe elementary school, or we went to school in the same place the whole time.
Yeah.
Those relationships, those friendships that we've had them for so long that we don't remember what it was like to develop those relationships. And so college is all about developing relationships, and some relationships work out beautifully and some just don't. And that's okay that they don't. But knowing that in advance can really be helpful, because it can be scary to think like, what is wrong with me? Or why can't this work? Or why doesn't anybody like me?
Or like, why did they change? Like,
You
change a lot from freshman year to senior year.
You do change a lot.
And your freshman roommate to it's all
I hear
different.
That. My freshman roommate and I have no idea where she is or what she's doing. But some of my other girlfriends, I just saw them this last weekend from college. And that was a long time ago, y'all.
Oh, please.
I think that was a good one, she said.
Yeah. Y'all have definitely got some awesome experiences that are great to share. So I really appreciate your time today, spending this time with us, talking about your transition from high school to college and what that college experience looked like. I really wish you all the best on your next endeavors. So thank you so much for your time today. And to my audience out there, yes. To my audience out there, thank you so much for spending time listening with us today. We really appreciate you listening to these stories, these different perspectives from different people, from different places. That really helps us all understand life and the world better. So thank you so much for your time. Remember, follow me on Instagram. Check me out at Panther City Partners. Send me a text or send me a direct message if there's something you'd like to see on the podcast, if you have ideas or tips. Share with your friends, and please go on and rate me. Because it really does help. So thank you so much for your time. Remember, the only constant is change, but you don't have to go it alone.